Hello everybody, this is a quick lesson, or not so quick lesson, on scientific laws and how movies violate them. First of all, what is a scientific law? It is a description of an observed phenomena. Now, a law does not explain why something happens, right? The explanation is what we call a scientific theory. So, a law will be an example of, for example, I drop something, it falls. Okay? String theory as a reason for why something falls would be a scientific theory, where the law of gravity is just it falls. Now, scientific laws have been proven to invariably occur whenever certain conditions exist or met, right? And just because an idea becomes a law doesn't mean that it can't be changed through scientific research or whatnot, right? Because these laws can wind up being tweaked. However, these are pretty much just things that we have never found anything contrary to this. Again, not an explanation. It is simply just a statement of when this, then that. So, quick question. What law is
Think you're pretty funny, don't you, freak?
Flash, it was just an accident.
My fist breaking your teeth, that's the accident.
Come on, Flash.
I don't want to fight you, Flash. I wouldn't want to fight me neither. Except
Help them, Harry.
Which one? It's all yours, man.
Not sure if you noticed, but the law of gravity is what's actually violated here. I'll change the settings, playback speed to 1/4, and play it again. Now, he goes all this way from where Peter strikes him, along this way, where gravity doesn't actually affect him. He does not fall during this time. It's like all of a sudden his punch was able to break gravity as he moves along. Another neat little thing that happens. First thing that falls off the teacher's tray is the pudding, and the last thing to fall and actually hit the floor is going to be the pudding. Saw the pudding fall there. It's no longer on the screen. And there it is. Okay, so breaks the law of gravity. Any two objects with mass will attract each other. The more mass of the objects, the greater the attraction. The closer the objects, the stronger the attraction, is the law of gravity. So, what law is broken here? This is from Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
We made it. Can you imagine the look and I'm gonna go to space if we were late? That was bloody brilliant.
Well, thank you for that assessment, Mr. Weasley. Perhaps it would be more useful if I were to transfigure Mr. Potter and yourself into a pocket watch. That way one of you might be on time.
So, in this case here, which law is broken? Well, that would be the law of conservation of mass. Law of conservation of mass says matter can be changed from one form to another, mixtures can be separated or made, and pure substances can be decomposed, but the total amount of mass remains constant. And we've got this approximately 2 kilogram cat becoming this approximately 50 kilogram woman. So what about in this video? I apologize that this is actually in another language, in Dutch. But you kind of get the idea anyway. It's from the movie Flubber.
Kommen wir nun zu Plan B. Schön festziehen. Fest. Vorsicht, Vorsicht, Vorsicht. Zweites Flapper-Experiment. Eingesetzte Hilfsmittel, Befestigungsseil, dreifacher Elastizitätsfaktor, 50 Pfund Ballast. Ich beginne jetzt. Wünscht mir Glück.
Notice he's bouncing higher each and every single time. Okay, so what law is broken there? Well, that would be the law of conservation of energy, which says a system that is isolated from its surrounding, the total energy of the system is conserved, meaning the total energy before is equal to the total energy after. If the system is not isolated, some energy will be lost, but it's never actually destroyed. It's going to go into other forms. In this case, energy keeps getting added from nowhere. It gets created. Somebody forgot how this works. Now, in this particular setup, the pendulum ball, the ball never actually comes back up as far further than it did. So if you stand right straight still, the ball will come and will not hit the person. But this girl, in that she notice she moves forward. Yep, she moved. So this video shows how this is supposed to work, and then we'll see the fail. Right, comes up, but he stands up. Oops. Oops. Yeah, he forgot how that worked. Total energy in a system is isolated and fixed. Right? Now, the fact that the universe obeys certain rules, laws to which all things must adhere, these laws are very precise, and many of them are also mathematical in nature. Which means that there had to have been a lawgiver, and we're going to take a look at more of that throughout this unit, but God created the laws of physics in just the right way so that the laws of chemistry would be correct, so that life could exist. We expect the universe to be organized in a logical and orderly fashion and to obey uniform laws because the universe was created by the power of God and that he set laws in motion. James 4:2 explains it this way: there's only one lawgiver and judge, the one who is able to save and destroy, but you, who are you to judge your neighbor? Hebrews 13:8 says it like this: Jesus Christ is the same yesterday and today and forever. Whereas Jeremiah 31:35 says, thus says the Lord, who gives the sun for light by day and the fixed order of the moon and stars for light by night. Ultimately, this idea has led to what we now call the scientific method, the notion that an experiment can be repeated and the result will be the same if the conditions are identical because of scientific laws, because there's an order to the universe, and that universe has been put into motion by the Creator God. On top of this idea that a theory must make predictions and they're testable, and if a prediction fails, the theory is found to be wrong and must be discarded or modified. A theory is that explanation, trying to explain the law that God has set in place, but in the scientific method, it comes from the predictable fact that there is a scientific law in the first place, and that it is discoverable. And we try to explain it from a physical sense within the method of the scientific theory. Science depends on these laws of nature that are constant in time and space, and these laws have been in place since the time of creation, or the time of the Big Bang, if you will, that these laws have been constant throughout. Okay, everybody, thanks for watching. Please fill out the questions on WV1, Scientific Laws.